Hey, what's up, YouTube? Thanks for joining me here at Paid to Trade. So today I'm going over a live trade that I took this morning. So it was recorded live. This is trading the NQ futures, and I'm going to show you my thought process as far as where I got in, why I got in there, and what my targets were and stop loss. So I'm going to cover all that. And so if that's something you'd like to keep learning about in the future, as far as how to trade, how to take these entries, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and keep tuning in. Okay, so as you can see, we've made this really big move up. So the CPI data came out this morning, and so you can see we have this tall candle, giant green candle, pushed right into a zone, and then we just kept on pushing, and we closed above the zone. So what I like about that is now it gives me some opportunity to go ahead and look for an entry towards the top of this zone. So the fact that we've closed above it, I want to get in at the top of the zone as we pull back into it. And what I'll be using as my stop is below the previous wick. So below the previous wick is it's at 26, I believe. So I'm going to have my stop just below that. So I'm going to be scaling in just in case we pull a little bit deeper into the zone, because ideally I'd like it to stop and turn around at the top of the zone. But what we're going to be risking here is the fact that we might be coming down to the open of the previous candle. All right, and so that's going to give us a second entry at 30. So I'm half sizing my position here. So I plan to take a little bit larger position today. I'm looking at 12 minis. So I'm going to be taking 6 at the top of the zone. And then if we continue to pull back into the zone, I'm going to be adding on at the opening of the previous candle. And so that's going to give me an entry of about 30, or is it 34 or 30? That's what's going to happen. So, and then my stop is below the previous wick. So there's a lot of different things that we can do as far as trying to get into this trade. So ideally, we want this to, we have a nice bullish move. We want that to stay up. We could wait even longer and look for some type of a base out. But I'm using the zones to structure the trade. And so that's what I often do is I use these zones to structure the trade because it shows me where there's going to be a lot of buying and selling. And so especially when you clear a zone, now you have that confidence that we should be holding that zone. So if the trade did fail, the second trade would be getting in towards the bottom of the zone. But with such a strong move up, I see continuation. I don't see us pulling back that deep, but we could, because ideally what could happen is we might have peaked and then we can continue to just sell off. And so what you'll continue to see are multiple red candles. We're making lower highs and lower lows, just slowly fading off. And so I definitely don't want to see that. But that's why we have our stop losses set in place. So it's kind of protect us from that. So going this route, I'm risking a little bit, so ideally I'm going to be risking less than 2,000, but my target is going to be 6,000. So I'm getting my ATM set up here. We haven't hit my entry yet. I thought we were going to hit a little bit sooner, so that's why I had an order set up. But now I'm just making some tweaks. So I'm going to adjust my profit to just over 25 points, and my stop loss is staying at 40. So now that my ATM strategy is all set up, I'm going to go ahead and set up another limit order. And so I want us to pull back into that limit order so I can get filled on the bid. And again, I'm just taking an entry of 6. So it's definitely slow moving. At this point, it's 45 minutes until the actual market open. So the volume is not 100% there, but we did have such a surge of volume, running up from that CPI data report that I was just really hoping for some continuation here. So we're slowing down a little bit, but the trade still looks good. The structure makes sense. And so that's what we're looking for. Now, ideally, if you know it, I'm comfortable trading this way. You have to trade whatever's, comfortable for you. Um, so another way to go ahead and take this would be waiting for the bull flag to play out. So you can wait until this were to base out, and then once you see some strength and some volume kick in, and once we start exceeding these candles that are the highs of these previous candles, then that would give you the confidence to go ahead and get in. And so the only downfall with that is that you're getting in after the fact. So where I'm already in, let's say 8 or 10 points, um, your trade is going to start off, once you're over that 43 level. So then you'll be about 9 points behind me, something like that. So that's almost 10 points. So we're talking a difference of, with my sizing, it's going to be about 2,400. But that's okay because ideally you do want to get in with the lowest amount of risk as possible. So the danger with that though, which I do take trades like that, I do take breakout trades as well. So that's it's kind of a breakout trade. When you take that, then how much of a stop are you going to give it? You probably don't want it going back more than a few points on you. But with the Nasdaq, we have that kind of range. It ranges. It's got a every candle's at least 10 points or so. Like right now, the ATR is it's 12 points. So, we're averaging about 12 points every candle, and that's on the 3 minute. So as you see, I got filled. So now it's just a waiting game, and I'm looking to see if we get filled on the second entry, and my stop is not going to move. So I got a hard stop there at 24. And so the plan is once we start to turn around, then I want to go ahead and start just moving up my stop. And even when I don't move it, I'm always thinking um, I have a mental stop. Even though there's a hard stop, there's a mental stop that I want to use to make sure we just limit risk. So even the times you don't see me scooted up, it's always in the back of my mind. And the reason why I like to keep it further away too is because I do believe in stop hunts, and sometimes you'll see the price go right to your stop and absolutely reverse. So when you have it just a little bit out of the way, which this is still within uh, my my plan, so this is what I'm willing to risk, so that's okay. Um, but having it out of the way, it allows me a little bit more wiggle room. But I don't need to let that stop get hit. So I can definitely get out ahead of time if I needed to. But right now, for the first part of this play, I have to give it a little bit more wiggle room. Okay, so at this point, we are not doing much. And although this is live recorded, I know there's a little bit of a waiting period. So instead of just making you sit here and watch this candle barely move, I'm going to go ahead and just speed up here so you can get a better feel, or so you don't have to wait as long. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here so we can get to the next part. Okay, so as you can see, we started to move up. watching that little bit fast forwarded, that's just how much downtime there is sometimes with trading. It's a waiting game. So especially when you're doing this alone, it's just a lot of just waiting. And so as much fun as trading can be, technically it's a little boring because you're just, kind of doing the same thing every time, just want to be a robot. And it's just waiting until the move plays out. Um, so anyhow, so we're moving up. So I've scooted up my stop a little bit, and mentally, I'm stopping at break even at this point. Now I could be scaling out, but I'm really looking for a push up. I want to see this push up right into our target because I think we've completed that bull flag, and so I'm looking for a nice move up. So I have multiple accounts and I trade them a little bit differently. I have some different trading styles according to how each account is. And, I try to grow them a little bit differently. So I like to experiment a little bit as well. Um, so I do vary my trading style. So in my other accounts, I typically scale out. I'll take a quick, 5 or 10 points and lock that in. But here, I'm really looking for that full move. I'm looking for that full move. And I haven't taken anything off the table yet, but being up about 8, 9, 10 points, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and just scale out a little bit, especially because I'm holding kind of a heavy position. But in all reality, this particular setup, it's a really strong setup. We got a nice bull flag. We've made it above this little zone and we've bull flagged down into it. So there's a lot of confidence here as far as what's going to happen. Now, I did just get out of the trade because I did not want to let that trade turn red on me. So just in case we were going to get some kind of a snapback, I did get out. All right. And so I locked in barely anything. It was just a few $100. But I waited to see how that candle was going to play out. And so the candle closed green and we're just above that zone. So I re-entered right at the opening of the next candle. And I do have a 10-point stop. As you can see, it's a hard stop, but my mental stop at this point is just below that, the top of that zone. So, which would actually be just below the previous candle. So it gives me like a 4-point stop. So now we're gonna keep playing it really tight. It's a large position. I'm in full size here because now it makes even more sense. We're mid bull flag here, and we just need this thing to play out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward just a little bit further, so we can get towards the other end of this trade. Okay, so we've already made a good chunk of our move. So at this point, my stop hasn't moved yet, but I'm going to be moving it up. But mentally, I am out less than half of this candle. So if this candle were to reduce just more than half, I'd be getting out. I'd be locking in some profit. And the reason why I say more than half is because, we do have that 50% retracement, you know. Um, so you want to look out for that. And so I'd hate to get out at half and then see it just turn around and continue going up. So I give it a little bit more wiggle, but I definitely don't want to give it all the profit that's here. So there's a good amount of profit. We're sitting in the money about, just over 4,000. So if I have to take 1,800 or 1,900, that's still a really good day. But I think at this point we're going to be shooting for it. So what I have here right now is I'm still shooting for 25 points. I'm going to lower the price just a little bit just because I already snagged a few $100, and I just want to make this more ideal for me. So typically, coming into the highs, we should match it and just break right over it. But even though I think this is going to run up to 75, it's probably not going to happen as soon as I want it to happen. But most likely, what's going to happen is we're going to hit the high and then we're going to just tip right over the high by a few points. And that should go ahead and lock in the extra that I'm looking for. So if we were to fizzle out a little bit, if the volume is going to start to die, I would just go ahead and lock in profits before we start just falling off because we could fizzle out. It could be more like a double top, but I just, based on where we're at, how the market's been doing, the zone that we're over, I don't see that happening just yet. This looks like a pretty good move. So the next main pivot is not for like another 20 or 30 points. So there's still room to run. And as you can see, we just got out. So we hit our profit target, and we made our 6,000 for the day. So uh, all in all, it's a pretty good day. It's still very early, but there's no need to continue trading. I could an extra contract or two for some continuation. But I'm happy to call it a day. It's Friday, and honestly, overall, I know tend not to do well if I continue trading throughout the rest of the Friday. So it's good to know, your strengths and your weaknesses. Where you perform better, better times, better days. It's good to analyze all that stuff. And so if you pay attention to that, then you're doing yourself a favor. That way you don't just start digging holes all the time. You want to stay out of those holes and just progress. So know where you fail, know where you perform better, and you will be a better trader for it. So let me know what you guys thought about the video. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe. I do plan to put a lot more live trading videos so you can kind of see, me taking some trades and kind of learn about my thought process. And hopefully that helps you structure your own trades. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. In case you're looking to start trading or get into trading, or maybe you want to increase your capital, I do have links in the description that show you different platforms that you can sign up with. And I do have some coupon codes there for some of them that you can get additional discounts. Right now with Apex Trader Funding, you can save 90%. Um, but yeah, go ahead and use that and let me know if you end up signing up. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it and see what your journey is like. But as always, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.